Hey, it's Niala here, the Master Midwife for Coaches, and I'm super excited because today we're going to talk about my biggest business challenge in the early days, plus a major infection. Okay, so if you are watching this on the replay, please put hashtag replay below so I can come back and say thank you to you. And as I'm saying this in my head, I just realized I'm recording this. Okay, so full disclosure, I'm recording this because I just spent like 35 minutes trying to get live on Facebook and I can't go live, but I promised that I would come and talk about this today. So I decided to record it and I'm going to be streaming this live. So I'll be in the comments, okay? So guys, say what's up, drop your name below. Again, I'm going to be in the comments, okay? Today, I'm talking to you about my biggest business challenge in the early days and a major infection, okay? A major infection. Before we get into that, so I taught a workshop today. It was so good. I taught a lot of my inner secrets, not inner secrets, but my secrets of how I market my business, how I'm able to sign high paying clients, my secrets on doing sales calls. I just really had a good time in our workshop today. So if you're someone who registered for that workshop and you missed the replay, please go and check your inbox because you guys have 48 hours to check out the replay for that workshop, okay? But yeah, that's how my day went. Other than that, I don't do client calls on Monday. So I did a couple of hours of work here on the computer. And then I just came back downstairs and I'm like, let's go live really quick since I said I would do this and Facebook, yeah. So anyway, yeah, my challenge. Let's talk about what my biggest challenge was in my early days. And when I say in my early days, I'm talking about when I first started in business. Now, I started in business very young. I was exposed to entrepreneurship through my family. And I always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I was always taught about generational wealth. That was just the things that my family spoke about heavily, especially my mom. Right, so those type of things stuck with me as I grew older, but I did have challenges. So I'm going to start my story from 18 years old when I joined my first network marketing company all on my own, okay? And that major infection that I had was actually my biggest challenge. And funny thing is, most of you are suffering with this right now in different ways. And that's what we're going to talk about. Most of you have this infection too. So here's my biggest challenge. The biggest challenge I had when I started in the early days was shiny object syndrome. Yes, shiny object syndrome. Now, I know you've heard this before, but it's real. It's real. I just didn't know that that's what it was called back then. I was just moving along, day by day in my journey. I didn't know that what I really was infected with was shiny object syndrome, right? So let me take you back then. I joined my first network marketing company at 18 years old. So I started my entrepreneurial journey in the network marketing industry, right? And I would never forget it. It was great. It was so exhilarating just being in rooms with people who spoke about mindset and personal development and looking at people who were my age who were already making millions. It was just so inspiring, and I really knew that I was going to be a millionaire, right? So I joined my first company. I really didn't make much money, but I did get exposed to the personal development world. And then I'm looking online. Back then, online was like now starting to be a thing, right? So like every business idea that comes out when it comes to marketers, they go ham, so at that time it was just company after company after company. Everywhere you look, it was somebody promoting their network marketing company. And I remember looking online one day and then I seen another ad. And I decided that the company that I was in, I wasn't really making any money. I was done with that. And this one looked like it would be a better fit. So I joined that one. And then I joined another one. And it just went on like this for years. It was like I was always looking for that business that was going to make me rich. I wasn't consistent, and it was so bad. Right now, don't get me wrong. There were some companies I made money and some companies I didn't. But it was so bad that I actually started having a name, for that person that was always coming trying to get you to join a company. You ever, and some of you might resonate with me. You ever get to the point where people see you coming and they start running because they know that you're trying to sell them something? Like, that's how bad it got, with me. And some of you are suffering with this right now, to be honest with you. Now, you might not be suffering with this when it comes to going from business to business because you're a coach, you know what you are expert at, you know what you want to do, and you started your coaching business and you're doing your thing. But you may have that with your messaging, right? So you may be feeling like you're looking at other people's messaging and, I'm going to tweak mine, and I'm going to tweak mine, and I'm going to tweak mine, and I'm going to keep going back. I'm going to keep changing it, and you're not being consistent with it. It might be your offer, right? Same thing. You're seeing other people's offer, and you're saying you're doubting yourself, and maybe yours ain't right, and you're thinking that one might be it. And it's just no consistency, right? And that's what I meant when I say a lot of you may be struggling with this shiny object syndrome, but just not in the same way, I just wanted to share with you what my biggest challenge was. And that was really it, not being consistent and creating a name for myself of someone that was always doing something else. And if you want people to trust that you can help them accomplish something, you got to stay consistent with what you're doing. You know what I mean? So I'm going to give you guys 3 tips because I wanted to just share this piece of me with you, but I still want to give you 3 tips because if this is something that you might be struggling with, I want you to hear from me some ways that you can work on this, right? Because all is not lost, all right? So number 1 is follow your heart. And you're going to hear 2 perspectives from me really because, 5 years ago I would have said one thing and now I would say something else, but they both are very valid, right? So number 1 is follow your heart. A lot of people may have turned their nose up. A lot of people may have ran away from me when they saw me. A lot of people may have had doubts about me, but I truly believe that, not truly believe, I know that if it wasn't for all those companies, I wouldn't be here today. As a matter of fact, when I became a coach, I actually stumbled upon my it factor. I stumbled upon what I was good at and what I really wanted to do while I was in network marketing. Okay. So while I was in It Works Global, that was the last company I joined. And, I was doing good. I had loved that company. And it got to the point where I started a women's empowerment company just to, grow that community, grow that womanship, that womanhood, you know what I mean? And I was growing my business and teaching these women how to grow a business online. And through that, is how I felt. I realized that I was good at marketing. Through that is how I realized that I was good at teaching. Through that is what helped me transition into, doing webinars and all the things that I'm doing right now. So I'm going to say follow your heart is number 1. It really doesn't matter what people's opinion is. I really feel like every step and every, business you join and every idea you have and every campaign you start, it's all a part of your journey. And with each one, there are going to be things that you learn. There are going to be times that you lose, but you're still going to learn, you know what I mean? So 1 is really follow your heart, right? That's my first perspective. But now let me take you to the second perspective is be okay with change. Be okay with change because don't be so stuck on your idea. Sometimes you're so stuck on what you want to do that you keep, putting out the money on new programs, new courses, new this, and it's just not working. And something is telling you that you need a change or you need a rebrand or you need to get with a different type of coach that's going to give you what you're looking for. And you're really not okay with change. So you're really staying stuck in that whole, syndrome. And I believe that you really have to get to the point where you're okay with change, right? Because in business, you're evolving. For me, every year I become a better entrepreneur. Every year I become a better businesswoman. Every year I learn new things. Every year I make more money. Every year my audience grows, right? Every year my mindset develops more. So, be okay with change because that's what this journey is. It's forever changing, okay? And last one is get yourself in a coaching or accountability program, okay? And no, I'm not about to sell you coaching, but get yourself in a coaching or accountability program, because that shiny object syndrome, it usually attacks people who are alone in this, okay? It usually attacks people who do not have guidance, who do not have the right people around them that's, you know, also on the journey, that motivates them, that inspires them, that brainstorms with them, that pushes them, right? So, you know, coaching is not only to learn what you don't know, but it's also to give you that accountability, give you that person who's taken the steps before you, to really keep you on track. Because remember, what shiny object syndrome really is keep thinking the next best thing, the next thing you see is going to be it. So you have to have it. You know, but when you have a plan and you have someone that's there, that's coaching you, that's leading you, that's giving you the steps, you know, you can stay more focused. And it's the same thing with accountability groups, right? So if you have a few accountability partners, and even if you don't have one, start one, because I'm sure there are other people in your audience that would love to be a part of an accountability group. But these are just some tips that I believe will truly help you if you're someone that's suffering with shiny object syndrome. So my two perspectives is, you know, use the tips, right? And then the other perspective is like, don't care what anybody has to say. You know, really don't. I mean, I'm not advising you to keep jumping from jumping to jumping. You see what I'm saying? It's not that I'm actually advising you that, but I'm telling you that if that's what's happening, you know, don't beat yourself up, because this is your journey. I just shared a piece of my story, just a tiny little piece. And, you know, that's where I started, and look at where I'm at now, right? So how bad could it be actually going through the motions and, you know, just running with your ideas and being free with it, you know? So those are my two sides. Those are my three tips. Before I go, I want to offer, well, not really offer, but I want to invite you to download a free resource that I created called the Master Your Message Workbook. It is amazing for someone who may be suffering with shiny object syndrome. Maybe you already know what you want to do, but you need that business model, you need that strong foundation, and the Master Your Message Workbook will give you that. So it takes you through, you know, crafting your story, finding that unique message, so that way you can really stand out and be consistent with it. Because what is really shiny, what did we say? Shiny object syndrome is really you jumping from one thing to one thing. If you could just stay consistent and allow yourself to see success in what you're doing, right? It will make a world of difference, right? So that's what I have for you guys today. If you found this useful, share this video out. Again, this is a recording because Facebook decided to mess with me, but I wanted to make sure that you guys got this content, okay? So you may be watching this on my Facebook fan page. Come on into the Business Law for Coaches. That's where I do trainings and give you exclusive stuff. You'll have a great time, training resources and accountability. Over 2,000 women in there, right? And if you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching this on IGTV, same thing. You can click the link in my bio, or you can click the link below and go ahead and grab the Master Your Message Workbook. It's definitely going to help you, okay? All right. Talk to you guys soon.